Okay, so this is the last question from Ferdinand via Twitter. What kind of collaborations would you advise on following if you're a band? We're not specifically looking to kind of feature someone on one of our songs, but we're aware that working with other people could be good for us and help build our fan base more.
And I would experiment with collabs, because one thing I always notice when it comes to bands is they try and do things with other bands, and musicians try. So if you're a guitar teacher, the first thing people do is they go on their Facebook with all their friends who are all guitarists and say, who wants lessons? And it's like, none of them are going to want lessons because they're all guitarists. So you're preaching to the converted. When it comes to bands at college, they say, who's going to come down to see our band? And they basically start advertising to other bands. Who's just a hard audience, and apart from their mates, but it's a hard audience because other bands tend to hate other bands. It tends to be that weird kind of local rivalry thing. You're trying to break out of that scene. So it's the same thing with collabs. Yes, you can get a band and you can go and find another band. That's a good thing to do, definitely. But if you want to actually start breaking out, then a collab is just two people going, look, your audience and my audience will benefit from this. And that can be a product, it can be a person, it can be a YouTuber, it can be a music industry company, it could be a venue, it could be anything. And so with a collab, it doesn't need to be, we will play a song for your audience. It can be that, but it could be anything creative. It could be something where you just say, look, a radio DJ, let me do a couple of jingles for your radio show with our band. And all of a sudden, all I want you to do is just every so often just say, love that jingle, that was from that band. Yeah. And then what you've got is you can say on your Facebook, oh, we did this wicked little collab with Mikey G DJ on the local radio station. He's playing our jingles, and that all of a sudden gets a bit more excitement for your fan base as well. And so it's about being creative. Even the stuff that we do, I see as a lot of collabs. I see this as collabs. You send us music, we fucking promote it. That's a collab. And in return, you send questions, we answer the questions. It's just us working together. This idea that it has to be you feature our music or you feature our band, I think that's too one way. And that's the way people think of social media. We push stuff out and you will take it. And instead of saying, well, this is a community, this is what we do. So, it could be, what about a collab between a guitar company? What about a collab between a very small up-and-coming guitar manufacturer, which you just say, I tell you what, lend us, don't give us, lend us a guitar, 2 guitars and a bass, and we'll make a music video, a really good music video with our next single, featuring loads and loads of shots of your guitars. And then what happens is, and then we'll give your guitars back. We won't damage them, they're your guitars. And all that we ask is that you post that on your Twitter or you post that on your Facebook, because you'll see that your guitar manufacturer name is all over the video. And underneath it, it'll say massive thanks to that guitar company for lending those guitars. We had an amazing day shooting, blah, blah, blah. That's a collab. There's a million ways that you can do it, but what bands tend to do is they tend to go, oh, I've asked a bunch of other bands and they're kind of up for it, but we can't get anything together. But it doesn't even have to be in music. It can be a skateboarding company. If your music fits in with that kind of, remember Tony Hawk's? Do you remember? I love Tony Hawk's. Wow, Tony Hawk's was the best. The last of my favorite computer games. But Tony Hawk's music was great, and if you fit into that, what an amazing way of getting your music out there, because there was loads of bands I heard of through playing Tony Hawk's. It's like, who is this? It's brilliant. And so, yes, yes, we can go past that and we can go into royalties and we can go into publishing and stuff, but just take that aside for the moment. It's the same thing. If you can find a skateboarding company and just say, we don't want you to give us anything because this is a collab. A collab means that we both benefit 50-50. In fact, the old Gary Vee thing of, instead of being 50-50, do a 60-40 loss, because that way, if you're prepared to take less, then and it's more in the favor of the other person, they're gonna be more likely to say yes. And then, to be honest with you, a 40% on a deal like that is a good deal. So if they said, for example, we'll lend you some skate clothes, or we'll lend you some skateboards, or we'll lend you this, all you've got to do is push their stuff, and then it goes all over their social media, you win. Yeah. So I think again, creativity is a big thing. Is all we're saying here is, how can we get our stuff on someone else's channel? That's the question. That's all a collab is. And that collab could be this channel. You know, this. Chasing Deer. These guys are wicked. Whenever these guys crop up now, I always go and check the stuff out. I'm a big fan. They go busking in London. Really, really good. It's one example. It's right behind me because they went, how can we get on your channel? Send some stuff in. Well, there it is. Simple as that. So a collab can be absolutely anything. It doesn't have to be music related. It can be, it just needs to be a similar demographic.
Yeah.
So if your demographic is 40 to 50-year-old guys, then go and team up with B&Q or someone, you know, or a local tool shop, or you know, it doesn't have to be. Whenever I say, you know, B&Q or you know, or Sainsbury's or Tesco's, you know, there are minuscule versions of everything in the world.
Yeah.
You've just got to find the balance. So you're not going to go and team up with Tesco's yet, but you might team up with Joe's Grocers on the corner. You know, there's little things like that you can do. You say, I love your Facebook. You're building up a little. There's a barber up the road called Teddy Edwards, who I just think does really good social media, and it's a very, very cool thing. Like bands in Brighton, why they haven't gone to him and just said, your stuff is very cool, and the people who are friends with you on Facebook are also very, very cool. They should. There's a team up there to say, let us do the music for a video. We'll go and find someone who can actually edit a video, and we'll do a video for your barbershop and our music together combined. You don't have to do anything at all. You just have to let us do it. All you've got to do is post it on your Facebook. So you're doing the work and then reaping the rewards from someone else's engagement and followers. I think the main thing is people are going, well, if we're going to collab, then what are you going to do? So, well, what they're going to do is they're going to post your shit. That's what they're going to do, and that is a lot of value in that. A lot of value. That's why these influencer marketers can get paid up to £250,000 if they've got a big enough audience. So don't undervalue that. Someone's got an audience of 10,000 and they're prepared to put something on their Facebook that you've done. That's big value. So that isn't something you can just knock together in 20 minutes.
Yeah, so it's just thinking a bit more laterally about it, isn't it?
Yeah, creatively, and stop thinking that it needs to be banned, so therefore I have to go to another band, because it can be absolutely anything at all.